and welcome to the Victor Farmington Library card making class. Today we're going to be working on this very whimsical and easy card, but there's a lot of technique to it. So let's get started on it real quick. First, the tools. We're going to be using the Vagabond. The Vagabond is a die cutting machine. It is electric, makes it very easy to cut designs and make impressions. We're going to be using that to make the tie. We're going to use a trimmer. I like to use the Fiskars trimmer that is 6 inches by 12 inches. I like this size because I'm always making 5.5-inch cuts. I also like the Fiskars because they have a metal, kind of hear that? A little metal rod or wire that goes here so I can see exactly where I'm cutting. My blade is titanium because it lasts longer. We're going to be using a acrylic block to adhere the stamps with. We're going to be using a couple of different stamp sets. This stamp set here is from the company of Wish, and I'll talk to you a little more about that later. We're going to be using this stamp set here, and this is from Stampscapes. I can talk to you about that one a little bit more too. And then from Stampin' Up, we're going to be using Peaceful Place stamp set. All of these just for one cute little card. We're going to take good care of our stamps by using a quality stamp cleaner, either a chamois or a stamp scrub to help keep the stamps nice. The better care you take of your stamps, the longer they will last. We're going to try something new a little bit. This time we're going to be using stippling brushes. This is what gives the texture along the bottom here, the banner, and also along the sky part. We're going to be using something called a dauber. A dauber is what is going to be used to make the sun in the background. The different colors we're going to be using, all Stampin' Up. Summer Sunshine, Marina Mist, Garden Green, Chocolate Chip, and my favorite, Early Espresso. We need to have just a simple pair of scissors. The kindergarten ones are just fine for this. The paper that we're going to be needing is a card base. I like to use 110 cardstock. This one I got just from Staples. We're going to be using a hunter green background, or I call it the frame. This is from Stampin' Up. We're going to be using a scrap piece of tan, a scrap piece of brown, scrap piece of purple, and some dimensionals. So let's get started. Oh, the adhesive. I am going to be using the Advanced Tape Glider from Scotch. I like it because it has an awful lot of tape that I can use. It's a very strong adhesive also. So we're going to start first with the Vagabond. Whoops, so that we can actually put this away because it takes up a lot of room. And we only have one little thing to do with it. Using our cutting dies, I'm just going to make very simple the little bow tie. And that you can make just simply out of whatever scrap you happen to have. Mine is the purple. Just line it up here. You're going to be putting it on a platform and then between two plates. Run it through your Vagabond. And there you have your tie cut up. And if you look closely, you can actually see that there's some texture in there. So not only cut it, it also impressed it. Put this back in here and put this to the side. next thing we're going to do is cut the papers that we need to size. So we're going to start with the canvas, with the base. We have an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. I'm going to cut it in half, so 8.5 by 5.5. Cut it right in half. Then we're going to do the canvas, which is the part that he's sitting on, and that is going to be 5 inches by 3 3/4. While I have this out, I'm going to just cut my banner along the bottom, and that's just a 1/2 inch. Well, let's make it a little wider. Let's make it 3/4 of an inch. I can always trim it off. It's awfully tight. Then I'm going to take the hunter green and I'm going to cut it at 5 1/4 by 4. All right, there are my pieces that I need. Put this to the side, put this to the side. And we're going to do our stamping now. So I want to talk to you a little bit about the different type of stamps that you can buy. As I said, this one was from Wish. It is a very, very cheap stamp. I don't expect it to last more than 2 or 3 years. It was inexpensive, and I got exactly what I was paying for, but it's doing the job that I wanted to do, so I'm happy with it anyway. We're going to take the Bear Impression. We're going to use our Early Espresso Stampin' Up ink. And we're just going to put the bear right inside. If you can see, I'm working on a little bit of a foam mat. When I'm using acrylic stamps, I want a little bit of cushion. Some stamps have them built in, some do not. If they don't, such as these ones, you want to have a foam mat because it gives a clearer impression when you are stamping. Put this away for a second, clean off the ink pad or the stamp pad because that keeps things longer. And then we're going to make the hat. You can see this is rolling off the acrylic pad as I'm cleaning it. Using my tan color, I'm going to put the hat on, and I'm going to use chocolate chip Stampin' Up ink pad. I like my ink pads to be all the same brand because they stack nicer for storage, because otherwise they just fall all over the place. This one's a good impression. We'll put this to the side for a minute and clean off this stamp. When you use a scrubber, oftentimes the cleaner, there's extra cleaner that gets stuck on the scrubber, so I can just use it right away. I don't always have to use the cleaner on the stamp itself. There's that one all done. Then we're going to take our Peaceful Place and put the banner on. If you take a look on this one, this stamp, it has the foam piece right on it. You can see it's much thicker. So I don't have to use this foam piece if I don't want to. I am going to because it's right here. Line up the stamp, center it for yourself. Get your banner piece, and I'm going to be using the Early Espresso again. and carefully put it where you need it to be. Now, if I didn't like the way this turned out, I could always flip it over and do the other side. Clean the stamp off. Put it away. All right. One more thing we have to do, and that is decorate the canvas. Now, you can sometimes get paper that has the stippling already on it, or you can do the stippling yourself. I'm going to get a piece of scrap paper, and you can see it's very well used. I do this a lot. I'm going to get my stippling brush. This one I use only for blue colors. Doesn't matter if the blues match completely, different shades of blue, that's fine. I just don't want to use a red brush on a blue ink pad. And I'm just going to go about and hit it like this. I don't want it to be too dark. And if you look, you can see where the stippling is here and there's no stippling here. It just adds an extra dimension to your card. Love doing the stippling. Sometimes it looks too harsh if you do not stipple it. So I'm going to show you what I mean by that. If I were to take the banner that I just created and put it on the card like so, it seems very, very bright. So I'm actually going to stipple onto this card too, and I'm going to be using the chocolate chip again. And I'm just going to use a brown stipple. And just real quick, right around like that. And it just makes it look less harsh. All right, now we need to make these trees. And for the trees, I'm going to use the stamp scene set. Let me just open that up. And I'm going to use a double tree stamp. This one here doesn't adhere as well to the acrylic block, so I'm actually going to tape it on. I know a lot of different type of stamps, a lot of things you run into when you start getting different styles of stamps. So I'm just going to stamp it on, and you can see the double tree there. Okay. I want it to be just along the bottom, so using my garden green from Stampin' Up, I'm just going to kind of push it off to the side. Do them a little bit staggered sizing, because trees never grow exactly the same. And I want them actually to come off the side. You see, when I stamped it, I only stamped half of this one and just brought it along. Very quick, very easy. All right, for the sun, I'm going to be using the Summer Sun ink from Stampin' Up. I'm going to show you something about a dauber. A dauber you just put on your finger and you kind of color. All right, it's better when you use a dauber. Is this straight, Julie? Okay. Mm-hmm. If you go right in the center and just bring it around, you can actually see where your initial dauber is. You can see that round mark. And every time you start, you pick up more ink and put it on there, you will get that ring. So you actually want to start your dauber going off before you even touch the paper in a circular motion so that you don't get that ring. See the difference? This is when I just placed it down and started circling, and this is when I circling before I put it down and then put it down as I was moving. So that's what I want to do right here. I don't want that big blob in the center. So I'm going to start circling before I touch it, and then I'm going to go down and touch. And I just want a little bit in the background, just like this. Again, I use just the same color type of dauber that I'm using. It doesn't matter to me whether it's a bright yellow or a soft yellow. Yellow is yellow when I work on it. So we have all of our stuff, so we can start putting everything together. Oh, not quite. We have to take our bear, and if you notice, I didn't use him on the vagabond. He has to be cut out by hand. All right, so we're just going to cut it around real quick, kind of a little bit roundish on the neck. We don't want to just have his neck cut off. And you're going to just cut around him, very easy. Don't worry just yet about making any texture to it. We're just going to go around him. And you want to move the paper as much as you can, not the scissors. The scissors is only made to go open and close, not to move around. All right, we're going to just go around very quick and easy, just like that. If you have to do it a little bit easier there, or cut it around a little closer, you can do that. And then we're going to cut this side over here, and cut around there. Again, I'm moving the bear, not the scissors. Now, this bear needs to be a little roughened up a little bit. So to roughen up your paper, just kind of cut inside like so, and then straight out. And then you just have a little bit of teasing. And instead of having a smooth bear, you have a hairy bear. You can get around the whole bear that way, the ears, the whole thing. Wherever there you want a little roughen it up, just go ahead and put a little roughness on him. He can take it. He's a bear. If you want to cut deeper into the corners by his ears, you can do that. I want to do that, and then I'm going to cut over here a little bit more too. Just cut this and roughen it up a little bit. And then you have, instead of a smooth bear, you have, let me show you a little on the paper, a little bit rougher. He's a little rougher on the edges. We like that. The hat is also what we call fussy cutting. We actually have to cut out the hat. So again, move the hat, not the scissors. The scissors only made to open and close. Round off your hard corners. Real simple. If you want it to go a little bit closer, go ahead and cut them closer. If you want a little bit of the tan around the outside of it, leave it there. I like both. Just depends how I end up cutting is how I end up it at the end. If I make it too close, I just make the whole thing closer. Then I'm going to take my banner. I'm going to kind of center it, and I'm just going to nip off the edge real quick so that it sits edge to edge, just like that. Now I think we have everything that we can put together. So I have the canvas, the banner, the bear, his hat. I lost his tie. I really lost his tie. That's cute. We'll find it in a second as we're putting things away here. Did I put it under here? Oh, this is very funny. I hope you guys didn't lose his tie. Oh well. We'll keep going with this in a second. Aha, I found his tie. All right, So we have all of our pieces. We have the tie, we have the frame, we have the canvas, we have the base, we have the bear, we have the hat. We have it all. So let's put it together. So we're going to fold our base in half. All right. When you fold it in half, make sure that you have it's not completely folded equally in half. So it's easy to open it up. Okay. Then we're going to very quickly adhere the frame. Now you don't have to use a hunter green. You can use any color that you want. One of my favorite colors to use is black. But being in a forest, I thought the green would be nice. I like to go side by or kitty corner to kitty corner because I can see where my frame is going to land, and I can see how much space is on each side. Then I'm going to take my canvas and put that on it real quick and easy. Go around all four sides. If you're an X person, feel free to put an X in the center too. All right, I can see where all my framing is going around. Beautiful. Now these are called dimensionals. They come in a lot of different sizes. This happens to be one of my favorite. It works excellent for this purpose here. You want to put at least 3 dimensionals on your piece at all times. Just seems to fit a little bit better and hold it up. Okay, so you take it off your piece here on this side here. This has got an extra little piece on there that you can just peel it off real quick and easy. And then you have a double-sided foam tape here. All right, we're going to put the bear right in the center. So he's right there. Then I'm going to put the hat on. And I'm going to use the same dimensional. Different dimensionals actually give you different heights. So you have to be careful if you're buying different brands of dimensionals. This one, 2 of them pretty much fill up the whole piece, so 2 is fine. Whoops. Put that right on top of his head like that a little bit. Fits him perfectly, don't you think? Then I'm going to take it and put it on the banner. 3 pieces. Again. That'll hold it up beautifully. And I want a little bit of the tree to show on the bottom, and I want some to show underneath the bear too. So I'm going to place it right there. Now the dimensional is too big for the tie. So I'm actually going to cut it in half. And I'm going to put 1 on each side of the bow. And that'll hold that up just perfect. If it shows a little bit like this one shows, I'm just going to cut the dimensional down. And pull that little piece off, and then it doesn't show anymore. Yep, let's go, there we go. And then I'm going to put the tie right underneath his chin, just like so. Well, thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed making this card. It's a very simple card, but a lot of technique in it. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.